Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guraho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you for the fourth day of this Harinam Cintamani seminar. So we have till now finished the session till fifth offense. Now we'll just take a recap of all the sessions that we have done till now. So the session one, we saw that goal of life is Krishna Prem, and to attain that, bhakti is the best and only process that is available. No other process can, karma, jnana and yoga cannot help us attain Krishna Prem. And by executing the limbs of bhakti, we will proceed from Shraddha to Prema. And best amongst the items of bhakti is chanting of the holy names. And we cannot control Krishna. No, we must offer prayers to Krishna and Krishna will reveal himself unto us, right? So this is the flow that we had in the first session. And the second session was effective sadhana. We saw that is understanding the identity of the holy name as non-different from Krishna and chanting the primary names of Krishna, that is the names which are in connection with the spiritual activities, which is in connection with his dear devotees, and the pastimes which are connected to dear devotees. So like that, so that things are called, those names are called primary names, and chanting those names, we will make advancement towards prema. So chanting the secondary names, which are in relation with Lord's management in the material world. So they can only take us to, they can only award the greatest piety in the material world, or at max, they can let us out of the material world, but they cannot give us entrance into the spiritual world. So that is not possible. And chanting without offenses and chanting without namabhas, so one can attain pure Shuddha name, Shuddha Nama, right? So this is the effective sadhana that all of us should aspire to and try to practice. And then pure name is blocked due to anarthas and ignorance. So this is due to improper sambandha gyan, and we can get proper sambandha gyan by serving a bona fide spiritual master and acquiring his blessings, right? So this we have, in fact, this is, I would say, like, this is one common thread throughout our, all our series of sessions. Like, we have been seeing it in different angles in every session, right? So it is blessings of the bona fide spiritual master that actually awards us sambandha gyan, and that actually helps us to progress in Krishna consciousness. So, and then lack of sambandha blocks Shuddhanam. So the effect is like namabhas or offenses, right? So these are the things that happens. So namabhas, its effects and remedies that we saw, and the offenses, like the first offense we saw in the second session, and then the last session we saw like 4 offenses, in total. So they are, the second offense is elevating an ordinary living entity or a demigod to the level of Vishnu, or bringing Vishnu or his holy name to the material plane. So either way, like in 2 ways we can actually disrespect the Supreme Lord. Is saying that he is not just the Lord, like even I am a Lord, you are Lord, everybody is God. So then that is also like minimizing the position of the Lord. Or otherwise, like, no, there is no God. No, everybody is human only. Even when Krishna comes, he accepts a material body. He is nothing but a little better human being than us, right? So like that. So either elevating the living entity to a demigod level, Vishnu level, or bringing Vishnu to a material level. So both of them are problem. And remedy in gist is concentrate the mind on true position of Vishnu and chant the holy names of Lord. So there is more elaborate, this one we saw, but then I'm just giving in gist. And third offense is disrespect to spiritual master, not being loyal to founder of the Sampradaya. And what is the cause of this offense? It is due to asat sangha, or it is due to association with asat literatures. That means improper literatures, which are not giving proper information to us, and which like Sahajiya literatures and things like that. So they actually give us the idea, or they actually plant this desire to disrespect the spiritual master. And then this disrespect of spiritual master blocks the progress in bhakti. And remedy in gist is, we have to give up such asat sangha and like give up such asat literatures and accept and beg the spiritual master for accepting us again. And the merciful spiritual master will accept us again, right? And then fourth offense is criticism of authorized scriptures and subscribing to atheistic philosophies. And remedy is worshipping Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all scriptures, and beg pardon from Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam is as good as Krishna, and Bhagavatam will forgive us, and like Bhagavatam will accommodate us. And then fifth offense is thinking that scriptures have exaggerated the whole glories of holy name and giving some material meanings to the holy name. All these things like comes under the interpretation of holy name. And result of this is one has to rot in hell and lose taste and faith in chanting. So remedy is reveal one's offense in front of the Vaishnava assembly, and merciful Vaishnavas will forgive and embrace such a devotee. So now in this, like I just try to pick up the common cause. The common cause is losing Sambandha Gyan due to Asat Sangha. This is a common cause, like we can see amongst like many offenses. And common result of such an offense is losing taste and faith in the holy name. And common remedy is recognizing the offense and repenting. So like and like there are many different other solutions are given, but this is something very important. Recognize that we have committed an offense and have a repentant mood. So this is a very important principle. So this I just try to put all these essential aspects into one slide so that it's a good recap for us. So now like we are getting into the fourth session, the day 4. Today's agenda is offenses to the holy name and its remedies. The next 4 offenses we are going to see. So that is committing sin on the strength of the name and its remedy, giving the name to a faithless and its remedy, and considering the name to be equivalent to material pious activity. So that is also an offense and its remedy. And there are 3 types of inattentive chanting is there. This is something very important. All of us suffer from this, it is very, very important to study this. So the first inattentiveness is indifference to the name. Second is inertia or laziness. And third is restlessness of mind, right? So these 3 inattentions are there, and how to overcome these inattentions. So that we will be seeing the remedies for all these things we will be seeing. And of course, towards the end, we will have question answers and assessment. So now we'll get into the 6th offense. So that is committing sin on the strength of the name, right? So this is chai and chant. I just picked up this one. So like I'm chanting, so I can like do any sin and I can get away with this one because the name is very powerful. Namno balad yasya hi papa buddhir na vidyate tasya yamar hi shuddhihi. So a person who has the inattention of committing sin on strength of chanting the holy name cannot be purified by observance of rules and regulations. That means this is like, I'm on the strength of the holy name, I'm committing the offense. So this will not be counted as the chanting at all. And rather it will not offer any purification. So the benefit of chanting will not happen only, right? Okay. So now there is a nice analysis of the sin. Now we have covered this to some extent in the Gita course also. So, but here it's a very nice, this one, different angle of understanding. So now, the visible cause of suffering is we commit sin and the result of sin comes to us. in the form of suffering, right? So, this sin is because of a sinful act that is being performed. And the sinful act is because it has been influenced by a sinful desire, that is there in the mind. And how does the sinful desire, first of all, came into picture? It is because of ignorance, because of lack of sambandha, and because of ignorance, we are triggered to have sinful desires, and from sinful desires, sinful acts happen, and from sinful acts, we get no reaction, that is suffering, right? So in this way, we have the cause of this one. So original cause of all the suffering is ignorance, and the visible cause or immediate cause, whatever we call, is the sinful acts that we perform, right? So now this is the understanding of the cause of suffering, cause of, or the root of the sin, is this, like ignorance and sinful desire and sinful act that actually comes, right? So now we see the holy name's power, like what level of sin can be destroyed. Only reactions can be destroyed, or activities can be stopped, or the desires in the mind can be removed, or the ignorance only can be wiped off. What level the holy name can help us? That is, we can see that. Taking shelter of holy name destroys all the sources of suffering. Means right from ignorance, everything is completely washed off. The holy name clears everything, right? So it also immunes a devotee from committing the sin. So no interest for material enjoyment and liberation remains, because the chanting gives such wonderful taste and such wonderful relishment in the Krishna conscious activities. There is no interest that is left in material enjoyment and liberation. If there is no interest in material enjoyment, that just seals off the possibility of any sin. We cannot commit any sin. So thus there is no chance to commit a sin. So to commit a sin, we have to at least do some material enjoyment. That is when we can commit. There is some possibility of committing sin. But if we are relishing Krishna conscious activities, and we are fully engaged in Krishna conscious activities, we don't have time for doing any material enjoyment. So then, or we don't have any interest in doing material enjoyment, then there is no chance of committing sin at all, right? So that is like the root itself is completely blocked. So now further we see that removing of traces of sin. It is not that overnight it is going to happen. I was sinful, and overnight I'll become completely sinless. It is not going to happen like that. So from the sinful stage, where a person is completely tied up and to a heavy burden of sins, and he is bound by the chains of the sins, he is getting liberated, wherein he is not bound, rather he is relishing the thoughts of Krishna. So now in this, what is happening in between? So that is very nicely explained here. So traces of sin will remain in the intermediate stage, and a sincere devotee does not commit new sins in the interim period. Even if he commits some sin, the process will become slow. Every sin that we commit, the process will become slow. But the good news is we will get so much relishment in Krishna consciousness as we progress. Our tendency to commit the sins actually reduces because of our relishment in Krishna consciousness, right? So by being constantly engaged in devotional service, these traces will completely vanish. And more the intensity, more quicker it vanishes. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam says, akama sarva kamo moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena ejeta purusham param. Right? So tivrena bhakti yogena is very importantly emphasized right in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this very shloka is repeated again in the second canto. The first canto it's mentioned, and even in the second canto. Very few shlokas are repeated, Nama Pankajanabhaya is something which is repeated, and this is something which is repeated. And then there are some other shlokas, Nanaka Prishtam, in a little different way it is repeated. So, but very, very few shlokas. You can actually count them in finger. It is very concise and very solid literature like Srimad Bhagavatam, repeating a particular shloka and then repeating these concepts in many, many places. Like Narad Muni, he glorifies, saying that, this Shishupal and all these demons, they are so glorious because they intensely remembered Krishna and they got liberation, right? So this intensity of practice of Krishna consciousness is always glorified. In Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifies. And as it progresses, the intensity of practice of Krishna consciousness, the examples that is showcased, it only increases in intensity, right? So the devotees, various devotees are mentioned, and then Ram Leela comes, and then Krishna Leela comes, and then the pastimes of the dear devotees of the Lord, the gopis of Vrindavan comes. So this actually grows in the intensity of practice of Krishna consciousness. So this intense practice of Krishna consciousness will vanquish, will just remove the traces of sin, the sin and the traces of sin completely. It just washes off, right? So just like, if you cook, like a food item in a very, very low flame, so it takes time. So, but if you put the high flame, then the cooking process expedites. Sometimes some preparation requires low flame cooking, but then in general, I'm saying that if we want to put some emphasis, or if we want to put some real work done, so then we need to have intense practice of Krishna consciousness, right? So that actually eradicates the sins. So now Lord personally saves the devotees, as promised to Arjuna. Like, Lord will never let his devotee down. All suffering is due to sin, and Lord vanquishes all the sins. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami masucha. Right? So Lord vanquishes. The same thing, the holy name also is non-different from the Lord. It destroys all the sins, right from the root, never to return. That's how the holy name actually destroys. So now, in the process of advancing in Krishna consciousness, while practicing Krishna consciousness, there are two ways we can perform sin in the intermediate stage, right? So there are two ways. One is non-premeditated sin. That means I have not thought that, I have not planned to commit a sin. It just happened because of my weakness of heart, or because of my inattention, or something like that. It just happened, right? That is one thing. Another thing is premeditated intentional sin. Like, for example, see, like I have an enemy, right? And then he is creating so much trouble in my life. Anyway, I am a devotee, I am chanting the names of the Lord. Let me just get rid of him, finish him off, and I'll chant some extra rounds, kaam khatam, so sin chala jayega, like, I'll become again sinless. So that is a planned, premeditated act of sin, right? So that is something different. So there are two different kinds of sin. So in the non-premeditated act of sin, that means due to weakness of heart or some accident, I just happened to commit a sin, right? So no need of any karma kanda atonement, no need of any purascharya or any kind of any other process. Bhakti along with repentance itself will purify. Just have a repentant heart. Krishna, like, I just happened to commit this sin. I'm very sorry. Like, I will not commit this again. Please forgive me. In that way, like, we have this one. And then we continue chanting and continue executing our bhakti. So that bhakti itself will destroy all the sin, and we don't need to do anything else. But if we have planned not to commit a sin on the strength of the holy name, then that is a grievous offense actually. That's an offense to the holy name. Why? Because we want to, like, holy name is trying to save us, and we are trying to exploit the holy name. We are trying to kuch kaam banana cha rahe, like, we are trying to make some, like, we are trying to exploit the holy name. So that is not a very good thing, right? So the holy name is Krishna, and if we try to cheat Krishna, Krishna is biggest cheater. He will cheat us back. So it is not possible to cheat Krishna. If I want to attain Krishna, Krishna will come closer. If I want to cheat Krishna, Krishna will cheat us. He clearly says, in whatever way you approach, I will also reciprocate in the same way. Like, give and take. Barabar ho jayega. So in that way, we see that, like, thinking that bhakti or chanting will destroy the sin, and such a person is not a devotee at all. He's a cheater, and there is no remedial measure, no choice but to accept intense suffering. Even prolonged punishment in hell does not mitigate such an offense, right? So it is a very serious offense actually. Okay, so now how does this offense happen at all? So this happens, when it happens and how it happens, in the stage of Namabhas. That means, like, when we have not reached Shuddhanam, still our vision is blocked, or still Shuddhanam is blocked by some, like, things that we have discussed in the Namabhas, right? So it is blocked and the Shuddhanam is not raised. In such a state, chance for committing this offense is there, right? So due to bad association, we can commit this particular offense. And one has to be very alert in this stage, that is intermediate stage, and make sure every effort to avoid offenses, constantly chant. By the mercy of Guru, one will receive the Sambandha Gyan, and from Sambandha Gyan, all the anarthas and ignorance will be cleared. And once the anarthas and ignorance are cleared, we will be able to have darshan of Shuddhanam, right? So that is going to happen. So this is in the interim stage, we have to always work. Now I have to avoid the offenses. If I avoid the offense, now it is not sufficient. In the next moment also I have to avoid. Tomorrow also I have to avoid. Day after tomorrow also I have to avoid. I have to be careful all the time. And after certain time, no, the Shuddhanam will become our property, or Shuddhanam will bless us that we will always have Shuddhanam. So in such a devotee, he does not commit any of the 10 offenses, and he relishes the name, and he always lives in association of advanced Vaishnavas, and he will never let his mind even move 1 inch away from the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Right. So a person in Namabhas or a person in interim stage, maybe temporarily he is experiencing some bliss of the holy name, but he will not be able to maintain. He will come down again, because he has not been awarded the Shuddhanam, for good. So in that way, he has to be very careful. And when he is awarded the Shuddhanam, so then, it is not that he doesn't need to be careful, but he is relishing so much the association of Krishna, and he is so much in spiritual bliss that he cannot commit any offenses. So he become immune. So the remedy for the 6th offense is that associate with devotees. If by inadvertence one falls into this mentality, one should purify oneself by associating with pure Vaishnavas. Sinful desires are like thieves on the road of bhakti. It's a very important analogy. It makes a lot of sense, actually. The same analogy, like Raghunath Das Goswami gives in Manasiksha, and the same analogy Haridas Thakur gives and Bhaktivinoda Thakur compiles in Harinam Cintamani. It's a very, very important analogy, and it is very practical and very easily doable. So we should always remember this particular thing. Sinful desires are like thieves on the road of bhakti, and pure Vaishnavas are the protectors of the road. So when one calls out, when one loudly calls out the name of the protectors of the road, the Vaishnavas will certainly come, and the thieves, that is the desires for sinful activity, will flee. In affection, the Vaishnava will say, "Do not fear, I am your protector." Right? So it's so easy, right? So whenever some sinful sinful thought comes to the mind, what we should do? So we should immediately call out the names of the protectors of the road. That is the advanced Vaishnavas. Oh, Srila Prabhupada, please save me. Oh, like spiritual master, please save me. And we can remember the devotees whom we are very much attached to, and who are very advanced in Krishna consciousness, by taking their names and by chanting the pranam mantras, like Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Like that. When we invoke the pranam mantras, means we are invoking that personality. That personality exists in front of us. That is how powerful the pranam mantra is. So when we call out like this, then immediately the sinful desires will flee. So that is the power of this particular thing. So all of us should do this practical experiment, right? So, and we have ample opportunity to do the experiment, right? So this is the remedy, right? So this finishes the 6th offense. So now we go to the 7th offense, that is giving the name to the faithless. So that, like Ashraddha Dane Vimukhepi Ashunvati Yas Chopadeshaha Shiva Nama Paradaha. So like giving the instruction of the holy name to those without faith and with no interest in the Lord or the Lord or the name, who actually do not hear the name, is an offense to the Lord's name. So it is like one who is not interested in hearing the name. So forcibly, like we are trying to preach to him and things like that. So that is not very good. If he is interested, then we should preach. Otherwise we should not. So we should just give them some prasadam, or give them like, it is very nice meeting you. Like, Hare Krishna, thank you. So like just by meeting a devotee, seeing the tilak and hearing few words of Hare Krishna and things like that, some sukruti is created. Later on, let us see, like the Lord will see to how to increase the sukruti and how to give him bhakti, right? So let's not be too hurry, in getting things done. Just like growing a child, we cannot hurry. Like the child has to grow. So like in the same way, the sukruti has to grow. We cannot hurry that whole process, right? Or we have to be Narad Muni, very, very powerful personality who can intensely put on like very heavy dose of mercy upon the living entity. So we are nowhere. So we are an ordinary devotee. So let us deposit sukruti and let us look for cultivation. Let us look for faithful people, and let us go out for Harinam, Sankirtan, Prasadam distribution and things like that to create sukruti in the life of people, right? So in that way, so we should do both these activities simultaneously. So now, let's see, these are the things, which alone do not make one qualified for receiving the holy name. So good knowledge, good knowledge of all the scriptures, and like, amazingly intelligent. No, can I get holy name with this qualification? No, I cannot get. Good educational qualification? No, I cannot get, with this, like the holy name. No, good strength, bodily strength. No, Srila Prabhupada's favorite, this one, Nayam Atma Balahine Labhyate, like that. No, he mentions that. So this is very Prabhupada likes this shloka. He keeps often mentioning this shloka. So physical strength is not a qualification for getting the name. And good birth in good family, in a Brahmana family, in a very orthodox family, he is not qualified to receive the name. What is the qualification to receive the name? Faith is the only qualification. Faith is the only qualification to get the names of the Lord. So Shraddha Mulya Shuddha Nam Sheha Tate Vikai. Right? So when does it what does it mean to have faith? So this is also very important. So this is specifically the definition of faith for starting the process of bhakti from Shraddha to Prema. Right? So this is the definition. Faith means unflinching conviction in the glories of the holy name and scriptures. And by taking shelter of the name, all auspicious activities are performed. Shraddha Shabde Shuddrida Nischay. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasha Kari Shuddrida Nischay. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sharva Karma Krita Hai. That means, I may not be telling the shloka in proper Bengali, but then the meaning is that, if I perform Krishna Bhakti, if I have complete faith in Krishna Bhakti, that it will give me the Krishna. Okay. So I have complete faith that it will give me my ultimate destination of Prema. The holy name will give me ultimate destination of Prema. And by taking shelter of the name, everything auspicious is done. I don't need to do anything else. No auxiliary, no peripheral, nothing. Everything is done just by executing Krishna consciousness, just by following Krishna conscious principles, right? By chanting the names of the Lord. And nothing else remains to be done. If somebody comes to this point, that means he has started the journey, from Shraddha to Prema. Somebody who has not come to this point, so then, such a person, is still requires more Sukruti to be deposited in his account. When we get substantial Sukruti, when the Agyata Sukruti or unknown Sukruti becomes substantial, that is when a person will get this faith. And that is when he can start walking on the path of bhakti, from Shraddha to Prema. Till then, the path is closed. Till then, he is not walking on the path of bhakti. He's just preparing to go to that journey. Just like, if I plan to go to Delhi, I prepare. I book the ticket and I plan, and then, and that day comes when I actually board into the flight, and when I actually, or train, and actually I make a move. That is when actually I'm moving in the direction towards my goal. So this, to move in the direction towards the goal, this very prerequisite is very, very essential. This is the ticket. This is the boarding pass. This is everything for us to start the journey in bhakti, right? So this is very, very important. Unflinching faith, in the glories of the holy name and scriptures. If I don't have faith in the scriptures, I become a Nastik, I become an atheistic, right? So I have to have faith in the scriptures. I have to faith in the glories of the holy names, and taking shelter of the names. I should have the faith that everything that is supposed to be performed is performed, and nothing else has to be performed. So I'm just emphasizing this point. This is very essential to come to the point of starting the journey, of Krishna consciousness, or journey of bhakti from Shraddha to Prema. Right? So this is the qualification to receive the name or initiation. Right? So now, how can a person go from the faithless state to faithful state? This is before starting the path of bhakti. There is the prior state. How will he travel from there? Sometime a faithless man may beg for name for some ulterior motive, such as to secure his sinful life or to gain some cheap respect and things like that. Maybe Dikshito. I am also initiated, right? So, and things like that. So a sincere devotee should not give name to such a faithless cheater. A devotee instead urges the cheater to give up the devious mentality and cultivate faith in the name. Now, when the person develops faith, he can be given the name. So this is for the initiation, the process of initiation, right? So practically, initiation means the starting of the journey of Krishna consciousness, right? So proper way of giving the name, means according to Lord Chaitanya's instruction, we should make the whole world Krishna conscious. There is no doubt about it. But how should we do? First, create faith in them and then give the name, right? So how to create this? The process is by loud Sankirtan, one can produce faith in the jivas. By feeding prasadam, no one can create faith in the jivas. By distributing books, by showing the books to people, one can create faith in the people. One can create sukruti in the people, and that will create faith, right? So when a jiva attains faith, he will seek out a genuine guru. No, means sufficient faith is built up. No, sufficient sukruti is built up. This is a preliminary subject which is like discussed in the Harinam Cintamani. I didn't include that. So, but this subject is the Agyata Sukruti should like accumulate, and after a particular threshold, it becomes a substantial faith. No, for him to take shelter of a guru, for him to take have complete faith on the scriptures and take shelter of scriptures, take shelter of a guru, right? And from the guru, he takes the holy name. And then, by following the instructions of the guru and by blessings of the guru, he can, proceed towards his cherished goal, that is Krishna Prem. So do not give the name to faithless. If one cast pearls to swines, means to pigs, they will simply grind them to dust. If one gives fine cloth to a monkey, he will tear it to pieces. If the faithless take the name, they will kill themselves because of the offense. And and simultaneously he will give the name. Simultaneously, he who gives the name to that faithless person, he will also lose his devotional credits. No, it's both the ways. It's a problem actually. So we should work. Preaching means it is not always giving the name or giving the real substance. Preaching is also means to create the sufficient faith in people to get the substance, get real Krishna consciousness. So how do we do that? Loud Sankirtan, no distribution of prasadam, and no distribution of books. These three things which the Prabhupada asked us to do. And in all festivals, be it Ratha Yatra, be it Janmashtami, be it anything that we do, which is open for public, we do these three things. We have nice Sankirtan, we have nice distribution of prasadam, and we have the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books, right? So these are the ways in which we can actually create faith in them, and then wait for the people. The faithful people will automatically come. In some previous lifetime, some devotee would have deposited faith. Those people will come. We can cultivate them, and right now we can deposit in faith in somebody. They will become devotee later. Hey. Okay. So now remedy for the seventh offense is by misfortune or accident, a guru gives name and instruction to a faithless person. He should have great fear, because he will lose his devotional credits. So he should confess in front of the Vaishnavas and give up that bad disciple. If the guru does not do this, by the influence of the offense, he himself will fall under illusion and become a worthless fool, devoid of bhakti. Right. So this more applies to a spiritual master, but in our own level. So as preachers, so we should also be very careful that we are not forcibly trying to preach to a person who doesn't have faith, in the process of bhakti. Okay. So now the eighth offense is that considering the name to be equivalent to material pious activity. Dharma vrata tyaga hutadi sarva shubha kriya samanyam api. Now, it is an offense to consider the holy name to be on the same level as material pious activities, that is Shubha Karma, such as occupational duties, vows of austerity, renunciation, and sacrifice. Right? So, let's see this offense in detail. The spiritual identity of the name, we should always remember, right from the beginning, we are discussing this. Nama Cintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinnatvam Nama Namina. Right? So the holy name is abhinna. It's non-different from the Lord. The name is supremely spiritual. And it is conscious. Soul is also spiritual, and the name is also spiritual. It is conscious entity, Chaitanya. And the name, when properly chanted, spreads throughout the body and mind of the devotee. Such understanding can give access to the real name in its full power. Right? So when we understand the name is non-different from Krishna and it is completely spiritual, nothing to do with anything material, so then we will get the blessings of the name. Right? So now, this is the identity of the holy name. So now let us see what is the pious activities. So this is what this offense means, equating the pious activities or karma kanda with the holy name. So now we understood what is holy name. Holy name is completely spiritual and it doesn't have anything to do with material things. And what is this pious activities? They are sugar-coated medicine. For people who are materially engrossed, the karma kanda process is recommended. That means like materially engrossed people, just like a child, who doesn't want to take medicine, but the mother knows how to give the medicine. The child likes sweet, so mother puts this one honey and then puts medicine in that. And then the bachcho ko bolte like no, they go like no, this one take the honey, and the medicine goes inside. So like that, the karma kanda principles, like they facilitate the material needs and necessities of the people who are materially attached. But in that, the real medicine, that is the holy name, is embedded within that. And the medicine, the holy name, is what is actually giving purification. Right. So now, for example, we see that material activities involve pious acts such as yoga, and which needs proper time, and maybe fire sacrifice, atonement, worship of ancestors, and worship of demigods, and all these things involved in the material pious activities, right? And in these material pious activities, what is the purifying factor? The real purifying factor in the pious activities is the remembrance of Lord. Like in the pious activities, this person is doing some karma kanda ritual. And in that, what he has to do, like Om Vishnave Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, he has to do all these things. And when he does these things, and these names of Krishna, the names of Vishnu, which is present in these rituals, that is what is actually giving him, like purification, not the rituals alone, right? So the remembrance of the Lord in the process, that is what is giving him the purification, right? So otherwise, the pious activities, which are material, cannot in themselves give the prema, which is spiritual. The pious activities themselves are material actually in nature. They cannot give spiritual results. So when one is advanced by performing these pious activities, his knowledge level is increased. Then what he should do, he should give up those pious activities and he should directly take to bhakti in its pure form, the Navavidha bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. He should take the direct limbs of bhakti, right? So that is the way like he will advance. So now holy name is the be all and end all of everything. Now holy name means purification. No, it's the means of purification. Means initially the holy name holy name works as a soap for us. We are dirty. The holy name becomes the soap. It cleanses us. And after we are cleansed, the holy name becomes the lovable object, whom we are looking for. The holy name is not different from Krishna. No, our love is supposed to be towards the holy name. Initially, the holy name works as the soap or the cleansing agent for purification. And later, the same holy name stands as the lovable object, Krishna himself, right? So chanting of the holy names, the person who does not have spontaneous attraction for Krishna, for him, it is the means, that is upeya, the means to attain the goal. And for a person who is fully purified, the holy name itself is the end. There is no new thing that we are going to get. Like for example, train journey we are doing. So we are going through train journey and we are going to reach the destination. Say Delhi. So now train journey is different from Delhi. But in holy name, the journey is holy name and the goal is also holy name, right? So the same thing is going to become like, this one. So it's just like that. So in that way, like the holy name is simultaneesly the means and also the end, right? So the offense, like to this particular offense is when performing the sadhana bhakti, the spiritual master should teach the difference between Shubha karma and the holy name. If the knowledge, that means the Sambandha Gyan has to be properly explained to the disciple, and like the disciple also should render service to the spiritual master and get the blessings of the spiritual master. And that is when this knowledge will become realized knowledge. That is when he will not commit this offense. If this knowledge is not there, he will definitely commit means there is a chance of committing this offenses there. So if this knowledge is lacking when performing sadhana, then one will become an offender to the name, right? So he will equate karma kanda, material thing with the spiritual thing, because he doesn't understand this is spiritual, this is material. For him, the vision is like everything is material. He doesn't get the spiritual understanding. So he keeps equating, Lord to be material, the holy name to be material, like that. Here in this particular offense, the karma kanda to be like, material, equal to the spiritual holy name. It's a very bad comparison actually, right? So now first comes as the faith, then association, then devotional activities under the direction of the spiritual master, which will dissipate these anarthas, right? So this is how the progression is. This we have seen many times in this seminar. So create the faith, then association, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, then like, bhajana kriya under the direction of spiritual master. So in this way, the anarthas will be like cleared. And proportionate to the dissipation of anarthas, will raise the purity of the name. So like lesser the anarthas, like we can experience the Shuddhanam more, like in its qualities, right? And steadiness and attraction, for the name follow this, right? So when the anarthas reduces, we will be able to get better knowledge, and through that we will be able to do better steady practice of Krishna consciousness, and our attraction to the name also will increase because we are able to see the name in its full glory. So then we will get attracted to the name, right? So the remedy to this offense is that if one commits this offense and desires relief, he should first desire to purify himself. By good association and chanting of the name, his intelligence will become purified and he can progress to prema. So obtain the mercy of a pure devotee. This is one remedy, and the another remedy is obtain the mercy of a pure devotee. The offender should give up all external considerations and smear his body with the dust from the feet of a householder devotee of a very low birth. That means devotee of all class is equally respectable, but still, his mind is so material in nature. So he should go to a like Shudra Vaishnava, or Shudra who has become a Vaishnava, or even lesser. He should go to them and still respect them, as a very proper Vaishnava, and take the dust from their lotus feet and put it on their head, right? And he should eat the devotee's food remnants, and he should drink the water which has washed the devotee's feet. So, like this is called the Teen Mahabal in Krishna consciousness, right? So Bhakta Uchishta, and then Bhakta Padajala, and then what is the other thing? Bhakta Padaduli, right? So these are the three very powerful elements which can actually propel bhakti. We don't need to wait for committing an offense. Just like that also we can get these things. Whenever we get association of senior devotees, we can beg from them and take the remnants of their food. We can wash their feet and take the water that has washed the feet, and we should take the dust from their lotus feet and things like that. So this is like with permission, not to annoy the devotee, with permission we should do this thing, right? So this will purify the intelligence. The example is Kalidas. So Kalidas is not an offender, but then he was a very amazing devotee. Like he used to invite devotees to home, or he used to go to different devotees' house, and he used to go to the dustbin, and there he will find some remnants of the prasad that is taken by those devotees. And he will take them and he will relish them, right? So because of this intense devotion and faith in the remnants of the prasadam taken by the devotees, the Bhakta Uchishta, like this devotee, Kalidas, became so dear to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya would not allow anybody to touch the water that has washed his feet. Every day he would wash the feet before entering his ashram, and all the water will go in the drain. No devotee is allowed to touch that water. And because Mahaprabhu was doing the leela of a devotee, and a pure devotee would not he would consider himself to be a very low born or very unqualified. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would enact such pastimes. But this devotee who had so much faith in the Mahaprasad, he came and he directly put his hand under the feet of Lord Chaitanya. So devotees were so angry, they were ready to catch him and throw him off. And Lord Chaitanya told, don't stop. He can take. And then he takes once, twice, thrice. After that, Mahaprabhu says, it is enough. You can go now. Like that. So this is so powerful. Accepting the Bhakta Padaduli, Bhakta Uchishta, and the this one, what is that? The water that has washed the feet, Bhakta Padajal, right? So one should purify himself of offense and again become recipient of Lord's mercy, right? So now the ninth offense, this is the most important and most awaited offense. That is the inattention. So now somebody may think, okay, this inattention is part of 10th offense and things like that. In Harinam Cintamani, there is from Padma Purana also, this is the sequence of offense that is there. So what sequence of offense that we read is a little bit of altered this one. So, but all the essential things are there. So no problem with that. So it is only a different sequence that is there here, right? So now this is pramada, that is negligence, or inattention that is there, right? So now this inattention, what is the effect of this inattention? If inattention is present in one's chanting of the name, one cannot attain nishta or steadiness, right? So now if I'm like chanting and my mind is wavering everywhere, so then there is every chance that like I'm still there in the anartha nivritti stage or even lower bhajana kriya stage. So it is very difficult for us to make tremendous progress in Krishna consciousness. We should at least reach the stage of nishta, and from there to ruchi. So then our progress is going to be like little more safer, right? So before that, it is like quite unsafe, like it is very, very unsafe. So we should attain this nishta bhakti, and for that we should have proper attention in the chanting of the names of the Lord, right? So without steadiness, one cannot attain prema, and from inattention comes all anarthas. Therefore, inattention must be given up. By all means, inattention should be given up. So now there are three types of inattention. So one is indifference to the name. Now I'm just chanting like something is going on and something I'm just doing like I'm not giving any respect at all to the name. Name is just there and like I'm just there somewhere. So that is indifference. And then inertia or laziness. करना है like कब करना है like बाद में करेंगे and things like that, and it's like so much of laziness, and inertia is there to start the process, right? So and then restlessness of mind. The mind is going everywhere in the universe except the holy name. I'm able to think just like Duryodhana was telling, are you able to see the eye of the parrot? He was telling like, I'm able to see the whole universe, except for the eye. He was seeing everything else, right? So that is restlessness of mind, right? So now let's see each one of them. We will see in detail. So now we'll see that the indifference. First, we will take indifference. So indifference means due to strong attraction to material things, one's mind is absorbed in such thoughts while chanting, right? So when I'm chanting, like now I can do this, I can make this plan, that plan, and this and that. So much of other plan making is going on. So it is because of our attachment to the material things. It is because of our attachment to something other than Krishna. For example, plan making. If we really have faith in Krishna, and if we really understand that Krishna is my best well-wishing friend, and if we really go and put our attention into chanting and have faith that Krishna will give me the best plan later on, so then what is the need of plan making during chanting, right? So if I'm planning to achieve something, so then we can think of Dhruva Maharaj, like Dhruva Maharaj just focused himself on chanting, and whatever he wanted, he got. So why should I think and plan so much to get some material thing, right? So if Krishna is my best well-wishing friend and this material thing is useful for my service in Krishna consciousness, why he will not give it? I will just focus on chanting and let me not do anything else. Let me just focus on chanting. So this indifference actually comes because I don't have sufficient attraction to Krishna. I have rather attraction to material things more. And then, they are overpowering me like anything, right? So no taste in chanting. And how can one derive any benefit if one mind goes in the opposite direction from the holy name? In such a state, even chanting 64 rounds, there is no sign of taste. A person can chant 64 rounds, 128, anything he can chant. But if his attention is not there, he is not going to get taste. He is not going to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, right? So now the remedy for this is, taking association of Vaishnava who properly chants. And in a secluded place, if you can have the association of such Vaishnava and chant with him, and by seeing his attraction to the holy name, we will also develop attraction to them, right? So this is a remedy. This is a very nice, sweet remedy, actually. Whenever we sit with Vaishnavas who have intense faith in the name and intense taste in the name, we will also get that prabhav. We will also get that effect in us, right? So that's a very nice, this one. And then the remedy for indifference, like few other remedies are like, sitting near Tulsi, according to the scriptures, like, and also advanced devotees. So chanting can be better done, by chanting near Tulsi, chanting in company of Vaishnavas. That's why we always invite devotees, come to IBC. And now we have other two centers also, Panatur and Kannamangala and all. So it's not just only on weekends or only on allotted days. Like devotees should have the desire. Let us chant in company of devotees. Let me go. Even in weekdays, let me go. Let us fix appointment with other devotees and let's assemble on one time and let us chant the names of Krishna in association with devotees, right? So in that way, we will relish, and more we relish, more we can distribute the names very nicely to other people. And then in Krishna's pastime places. So when we go to Jagannath Puri, we are going now. So all devotees who are coming there. So we will get an opportunity to sit there and chant, in the place of Krishna's pastimes, Lord Jagannath's pastimes, right? So this is very amazing. And then we see the second type of inattention, that is inertia or laziness. So this is chanting with lazy attitude, slow to start, slow to chant, taste will not develop, always seek opportunity to interrupt, the right first opportunity. Prabhuji, like, why did you give up? Like, no, why did you get up? No, Prabhuji, this particular thing was there, that was there, this was there. Some or other reason will come, like, to get up and go away from chanting, right? So that is inertia or laziness. And also slow to start, like, not at all having any interest to start that particular thing, and like, kab khatam hoga ye mala, like that. So that is like inertia or laziness, right? And remedy for this is take association of sincere Vaishnavas, seeing how they are always engaged in, seeing how they are always engaged in Krishna consciousness and relishing chanting, and seeing how they don't waste time. Thus one will think, when will I be fortunate enough to chant and sing the holy names as these Vaishnavas do? It's a very powerful thing. Just this desire will kill the laziness. No, I don't need to even do anything. No, I just need to appreciate a devotee, like, who is relishing Krishna consciousness, who is like always active in Krishna consciousness, always immersed in Krishna consciousness, and then see and appreciate that, like, how amazingly he's performing his Krishna consciousness. That's it. That will remove the laziness from the system. But if I think that, what is this devotee like? Maybe he is having some attraction, but I also will get attraction. I will also practice. I will also get attraction. Then it is not going to happen. Let us genuinely appreciate the devotees for what they are. Let's genuinely appreciate that this person is having some relishment in book distribution. This person is having some relishment in singing the glories of the Lord. This person is having some relishment in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and this person is having some relishment in chanting the names of Krishna. So when we appreciate this, then our laziness will get killed. So they will like go away, right? And then three types of inattention. The next inattention is restlessness of mind, the last type of inattention. So this is, when does this happen? So like restlessness will be there where there is desire for position and recognition, where there is cheating propensity, desire for women, desire for wealth, and attachment to material success and failure. So how does it different from the first one that we saw? That is the indifference to the holy name. So indifference to the holy name means like we are actively planning to do maybe like some other activities and things like that. But here it is a strong attachment, and especially to an improper attachment, avaidik attachment, right? So this avaidik attachment, it is equivalent to gambling or illicit sex. That thing can completely disturb the mind. It will not allow the mind. See, in the first case of indifference, we are properly, steadily making a plan which is other than the holy name. So we are still steady in our thought process. We are still controlled and composed. Externally we are composed, but then internally, some planning is happening. That is also in a steady way it is happening. But restlessness means I don't have control of the mind. The mind is just throwing and raging like wind. It's just throwing thoughts like left, right, center. That thing will happen when I have avaidik sangha, when I have an improper association with women, or when I have gambling or cheating propensity, I have desire for power, position, and recognition. And this is not very good actually, having too much attachment for material success and things like that, rajoguna, that will create so much of restlessness in the mind, right? So this avaidik attachment, or somehow or other, hook or crook, I should get it, so like that. So this is like very this one, serious kind of greed kind of thing, so these things will create restlessness. So remedy for restlessness is attempt to eliminate restlessness by following proper Vaishnava behavior. On Ekadashis and appearance days of the Lord, stop thinking of eating and enjoying, and chant all day and night in association of devotees who actually relish this chanting. And hearing again and again the glories of the Lord from the scriptures will sprout contentment, joy, and confidence. So in this respect, I always appreciate Srila Prabhupada's purport, which actually made a lot of difference in my life. So in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he quotes this particular purport, this particular shloka, so that is Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo Vacham Shivai Kunta Gunanu Varmini. And in the subsequent times, I heard in the classes of Srila Prabhupada that just focusing on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, we can actually bring the mind under control. It's so very powerful process. Since then, wherever I get some DT darshan, I'll find the lotus feet, pictures, and I'll download specific. I don't download all the pictures. I'll see from the shady, this one I'll understand, oh, this is lotus feet picture. I'll download them and I'll have a lot of lotus feet pictures and I'll try to focus on them. And it is very, very powerful. And whenever it is not that always steady. Whenever I get unsteady, when I focus on the lotus feet of the Lord and I say I don't have anything else to do now. Simply, I just want to focus on the lotus feet of the Lord. I just want to see the texture of his feet. I just want to see the tulsi leaves that are offered to his feet, the flowers that are offered to his feet, the pile that is there and nice nupur that is there. All these things, I'm just going to relish and just going to focus on these things. And I'm not going to think of anything else. No, you cannot imagine. It's a magic. And having a prayer to Krishna. This your lotus feet is non-different from you, Krishna. I'm trying to focus on them. Please reveal yourself unto me. I am very eager. My mind is so restless. Please, you give me your darshan to me. Right. So in this way, when we do that, so we will become, a miracle happens over there, actually. Our mind comes completely peaceful, and then we will get absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. Because it is the word of the Acharya, this has to come true, right? So then, the another amazing thing. So this is because of these important slides, I didn't make this one practical tip today, because the last few slides, every slide is an amazing practical tip. This is very amazing practical tip. Since it is impossible to overcome offenses of inattention without the mercy of the Lord, the devotee prays to him, right? So we should always know inattention means what? Krishna's Maya Shakti is just overpowering us. And we all know that Krishna is the master of material energy, right? So Maya Dakshena Prakriti, Suyate Sacharacharam, right? And then when we take shelter of Krishna, Ma Meve Prapadyante, Maya Metam Tarantite, right? So Krishna can actually control the mind. Krishna can actually remove the influence of his material energy, right? So in this way, we can actually get this thing. In great anxiety, I beg for your mercy. O Lord, being full of compassion, show your mercy to me. I do not make endeavor to attain your mercy. If I do not make endeavor to attain your mercy, I am very unfortunate. O son of Sachi, Sri Gauranga. Now, for the mercy of the Lord is the root of success in devotional service, right? So if I don't make this prayer, I should consider myself, I am very unfortunate. I'm not even able to make a prayer. I'm struggling so much. I'm not able to see any hope in getting the pure name in anywhere in the vicinity. And I'm not able to make prayer also. How unfortunate I must be. The acharyas are spoon feeding. What prayers we can actually have. It is the what is it? For mercy of the Lord is the root of success in devotional service. Material motivation and individual intelligence can never yield the result. My own endeavor, my own capacity, my own my intelligence and power and things like that. It is of no use in achieving spiritual results. Spiritual results can only be achieved by mercy, right? So mercy of the Lord. So we should beg for the mercy of the Lord, right? So this is the with this we come to the end of today's session. And now let's open it for question and answer now. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Okay. So there is a question, Abhishek Mishra Prabhu. If a person believes in Krishna but does not accept him as the Supreme Personality, then it is okay to speak about the glories of the holy name or give the knowledge of the holy name to such a person. See, he believes in Krishna and he doesn't believe that he is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means for sure he believes that Krishna is an ordinary living entity, right? So that means he's an offender. He cannot we cannot preach the glories to him. So if we meet such a person, we can say, oh, nice meeting you. You can be a nice friend of mine. So let's keep meeting and Hare Krishna, we'll meet sometime again, right? So, and you take this prasad, this is so nice, nicely, prepared prasad, you take this. And and this you can just keep your hand on this book, this touching this book, create some auspiciousness and things like that. So somewhat like that. So something which he can relate to, we can actually do something and create some sukruti in him and leave a good impression and leave from that person, like that. So that's what we should do. And there is another question that has come privately to me, so it is better to put in the group chat. So if we should not give holy name to a faithless, then we keep chanting sessions during Gita course first level, then is it okay to ask others to chant? Our Gita course is a very amazing thing, wherein like we say like we are going to speak from Gita and we are going to like, no, it's completely open. It's a very amazing level of filter has already happened. No, people who have come there already has certain level of faith. No, so they have some certain level of faith, and it is okay not to make them chant. And there we are not explaining the glories of chanting. We are just asking them to chant. That is okay. No, explaining the glories of chanting, just like no, there is nothing incomparable to chanting. No, it is like more better than all the Yajna, Dana, Tapa and everything. And no, this is much better than liberation and things like that. And no, so we should not do like that. So we should like no, ask them to chant. No, it is very nice to chant the names of Krishna. No, you just chant. Like that's okay. That much people can take. No, that much we can give. So
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Just in continuation with this question, is it okay to say that, the holy name will give you mental peace and, it will be auspicious and make the other person to chant? Is that a better way out?
Okay. So this, I have double mind on this particular thing. So one of the things is that Srila Prabhupada always says that we should present the real glories of the holy name. And yeah, in one sense it is correct. No, what we are saying is correct. No, if we chant the holy names and if he advances in Krishna consciousness, his consciousness will become fixed in Krishna and he will become peaceful, right? And we also say that no, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. No, there's a lot of asterisk makes a lot of difference. There is a big asterisk attached to it, which we don't put actually. No, generally we put, but it is in the color of the background, so it doesn't visible. So like it's okay, like no, that kind of something that they can relate with, and they will not offend the holy name, right? So that is very important. So we want to help them progress in Krishna consciousness, and we don't want them to regress. So we just want to help them. So something digestible, not to them. So based on the audience, we can actually speak different things. Okay. Okay. So next is, okay. We read Bhagavad Gita that through association of devotees, faith on holy name comes. But in PPT, you highlighted that first faith, then association, how to understand. Okay. So the spiritual transaction happens in a different way. The material transaction means like if I want to buy a product, no, first of all, I'll study the technical, what is that? This one, specs, no, specifications of the product. And then I'll see the review. I'll ask few more people, and then I'll analyze, no, if this product is working nice and things like that and all. And with all those analysis, no, I can put the faith in the product and I can buy. But spiritual subjects doesn't work like that. Spiritual subjects works like this. No, it has like now I hear the holy name in the Sankirtan. No, devotees are doing Sankirtan, I hear. And I take prasadam. No, I accidentally, somebody was asking lift and I gave lift and he turns out to be a devotee. I accidentally get some Agyata Sukruti. Right? So in this way, I earn my Sukruti. No? And in fact, I remember one pastime of His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj. So he was going in a highway and then his servant was traveling with him. And then Maharaj was the vehicle stopped in a petrol station. And then in the petrol station, the Maharaj asked the person who's loading the petrol, he asked, like, can you hold the bag? No, I want to take something out. So then he gave the bag to the petrol station person. He took and he held it for some time. And then Maharaj took something from his pocket and he took the bag back. And then on the way back, servant is asking Maharaj, I'm there with you only to carry your bag. Why are you giving it to that person? Like, no, I could have carried. So then Maharaj told, you see, like, no, we never know when another Vaishnava will pass by this way and when this person will get some Sukruti. So he held my bag for some time. No, that's it. That will give him Sukruti, and that will give, over a period of time, that will give some, this one. So the Krishna conscious principles works in a completely different way. No, first, if we try to analyze and things like that and all, and we'll start committing offense and dur chala jayenge. Better like we create some Sukruti, no, and then approach in that particular way. So that is the best way, right? So that is why faith needs to be built, and that is built by Agyata Sukruti, by hearing the holy name, seeing a book, and taking prasadam and things like that. And if they purchase a book, that's even more good, So then, in this way, the faith builds. And when we go for Gita course registration, we are looking for people who are rich with faith. When we are go out for book distribution, Harinam, we are looking for depositing Sukruti in people, right? That time we are not looking for recruiting people. We are looking for depositing Sukruti, and maybe some lifetime we'll become devotee, right? So like that. So in that way. So I hope this clarifies. And then in case of pious activities, will the person have the right sambandha at that time? No. Pious activities means he's materially attached, and either he is attached to the fruits or he is attached to the activities in themselves. So that means his sambandha jnana is not very great. So sambandha is there to some extent, no? For example, Annamaya means a person is for a child, everything that he sees is a food. 500 rupees note is also food. A plastic toy is also food. Everything will go directly to the mouth. Because for a child, God means food. That's all. That is also one level of sambandha. And then next level of sambandha is Annamaya, then Pranamaya, not just food. Now I need to have some family relationship and things like that. Then Manomaya, then Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya and things like that. So this Karmakanda activity is the person, he is somewhere in Pranamaya and things like that. That level of knowledge, awakening of knowledge is there. Some level of sambandha is there, but it is not sufficient. It is not spiritually fully awakened, right? So it is not very great sambandha to start bhakti, But a pure devotee can deposit Sukruti in him. So the Karmakanda activities in itself cannot create the Sukruti, or it in itself cannot qualify for us to perform bhakti. But then a Karmakanda person, or even a sinful person, he has met Vaishnavas so many times, just like Jagai and Madai. So many times they saw Vaishnavas, so many times they heard loud Sankirtan of this one. What is that? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So much Sukruti has gone inside. And when the preachers went, thoda sa thakkar hua, in the next meeting, they became devotees. That's of course, the power of Nityananda Prabhu is there. But still, even when person who's not performing karma kanda, even is a outright sinner, just like Mrigari, So these pastimes are there in scriptures only to show this thing, that even an outright sinner, even a karma kanda person, even a jnana kanda person, anybody can advance in bhakti if they get the sukruti from a devotee, or if they get the blessings of a devotee, mercy of a devotee. But on their own, karma kanda cannot produce bhakti, jnana kanda cannot produce bhakti, yoga cannot produce bhakti, right? So it is the devotional sukruti that produces bhakti. Okay, I have been to temple in Juhu, Mumbai, where Mataji forced people to chant holy name by giving them the japamala. What about this? Okay. But she didn't tell the glories of the holy name. And it is not generally expected also. Maybe all of us are studying now, and probably we would have also done the same thing to a visitor to the Iskcon temple or a visitor to the Janmashtami. So it is possible, many different people could be there. So all that happens in an Iskcon temple is not a it's not a pramana, right? So people of different, devotees of different qualifications are there, they may do different things. So this is one point. And second point is, she didn't explain the glories. No, she just forced them to chant the names of Lord. That's okay. No, that's to some extent it is okay. I don't know what extent she forced. But if the person is very grudgingly doing and thinking that this is useless and things like that, probably it will have some adverse effect. But in general, people are pious. No, मेरे पास time नहीं है, मैं जाना है. नहीं, अब एक माला जप करके जाइए. No, it is okay. He is not hostile to the chanting. No, उसको थोड़ा जबरदस्ती करके chant करा दिया. ठीक है, no, he is not averse to the chanting. No, but he is okay. That kind of forcing is okay. But still, we should give some good experience. No, it is okay. Much more than that is if we give a good experience to that person, and then he goes back and he thinks that, oh, this devotee I met, and I had a very good experience of that. Then his sukruti will increase a lot. More he thinks about a devotee, more he will advance in his Krishna consciousness. So that's why some devotees, what they will do, in every conversation, they'll put a hook. Initially, I didn't understood what is this hook. Hook means like they will put a seed for next conversation, So like, okay, like at the end of the conversation, the devotee will say, you see, like, no, on this Wednesday, I'm trying to prepare a very wonderful dish. I'll call and tell you, like, no, what is this dish is all about? And, it's like, it's a hook, Wednesday, there is going to be a call again, So like that. So the devotees are sometimes sticky. So in that way, like, it happens. Okay. So there is, in the chat box, the questions are over. And if any other devotee has any other question, okay, there is another question that comes in. Oh, a big question.
I asked this question because the holy name, it is said, no, that you should not give it to everyone.
No, that's glories of the holy name should not be explained to everyone. Holy name can be given to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Intricacies of the holy name, nuances, and the intricacies of the holy name should not be given to everyone. Okay. So what does it mean, bhakti practicing intensely? In case of fire example, we understand how practice bhakti intensely. Okay. So in case of Ajamil, we saw that he meditated and committed sin, and we understand that by pre-meditation only, one gets a lot of impulse to commit sins due to pleasure-seeking nature. But he got delivered at the end of the life. But in the slide, you mentioned that there is no hope to but to suffer in the hell like that. So yeah, Ajamil planned his offenses, but he didn't plan it in such a way that I will counteract it with holy name. No, he planned his offenses, but he's not trying to exploit the holy name. I'll do this offense and I'll use the holy name and I'll cleanse myself. Of course, the holy name is a soap, right? Like, soap's job is to cleanse, So like, that kind of attitude is wrong. So he premeditated sin, but not on the strength of the holy name. He just like that is still okay. You can be any amount of sinner. The holy name can save. But if you use the holy name to commit sin, then that is like pitfall. That we should not do. Right. So that is this one. And then the intensity, this one. So Ajamil is also a very nice example of intensity. Like when the Yamadutas come, and that time very intensely you took the name of Narayan, right? So intensely he took. So like one devotee told me, like Krishna is very merciful. Whether we are intense or not intense, he will make us intense. Better we ourselves become intense. When he makes us intense, it is like really very, like Ajamil, like Yamaduta aake, like Yamapas dal ke nikal rahe. So like he's just removing the soul from the body. And then that time, like, Krishna, please save me. Better now only we chant with that intensity. Why give so much trouble to Krishna? Why take so much trouble to ourselves? So is this not sufficient that, I'm sitting for chanting and I've been told to chant. The spiritual master has ordered me to chant with attention. And I'm sitting for chanting and my mind is raging. Is it not sufficient enough problem to be like, take tension upon? Like, we can go to the Lord saying that, my spiritual master has ordered me. And this small service, he has just ordered me this one thing, chanting 16 rounds properly without offenses. I am not able to do. What kind of an offender I am? What kind of a useless disciple I am? Please save me, my Lord. That intensity can come if there is a goal, and if I sense the gap between the goal, then naturally the intensity comes, right? So if I think that, like, spiritual master has told, he has told everybody, what everybody is chanting with, focus or what? Like, why only I have to chant with focus? First let everybody chant with focus, then I'll focus. If we have this kind of attitude, then we will never get intensity. We let alone everybody, let alone everybody. Krishna is there, spiritual master is there, they will take care of them. What about me? I am the sinful rascal who's not getting taste in the name. Now, when will I get this taste in the name? Like, how will I progress in Krishna Bhakti? So if I have this kind of this one, then I'll naturally produce anxiety. And when I have anxiety, then the Bhakti becomes intense. Like when I see that I'm so fallen and the goal is so far away, and I have to reach, and there is no other option for me other than reaching the goal. So then I get the intensity. Otherwise I'll not get the intensity, right? So we have to two things we have to meditate upon is that importance of the goal of attaining Krishna Prem, attaining the mercy of the Lord, and getting the clarity of Sambandha, and getting the clarity and getting attachment to the Abhidaya, and getting attachment to the goal, right? So these things we have to get clarity about. And when we get this clarity, automatically we will get intensity, right? Okay. So Hare Krishna. So we have come to the end of the session. So thank you all very much. So tomorrow we have another session, the day 5. So tomorrow be prepared with a lot of questions. Now we will have, today we had like almost around 15-20 minutes of this one. Tomorrow we may have some, half an hour of question answer session. So a little more time is there for question answers. So like whatever, this one is there. So by clarifying this and by properly situating in our process of bhakti, and in that way, like when we approach, approach to take the initiation from a bona fide spiritual master, we are well prepared. Before approaching a bona fide spiritual master, we are well prepared that I am a seeker, I am a genuine seeker, and this is what I want, and this is what, please give me, just like yesterday we saw like how Sanatana Goswami is telling, please give me Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please give me, please tell me who am I don't know who am I. That is clarifying the sambandha, and please tell me what should I do. That is the abhidaya, and please tell me what is the goal that I am supposed to achieve. That is prayojana. This is exact 3 questions that Sanatana Goswami asked. So this is what we want. Who are we? We are servant of Krishna, and we have to get more and more realization that we are servant of Krishna and servant of spiritual master. And we have to get the realization, this process of chanting, this process of offering flowers and tulsi to the Lord, this process of studying the scriptures, doing these preaching activities, doing book distribution. This is the abhidaya. This is the process. This is what my spiritual master wants. This is what Krishna wants. And by doing this and this alone, I will achieve Krishna Prem. I will achieve my cherished goal. So this conviction that we need to have, then if we go and approach for initiation, that makes sense, right? So we are really on to the job. Really, we are there. We know what is the business we are getting into, and we will get the result very nicely, right? So thank you all very much. And we will meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Harinam Cintamani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta